Hey, so about a year ago I made a video on how to make a pizza oven from a beer keg. It was just an interesting challenge, and I wanted to make a pizza oven that was very similar to ones that you can buy out on the market. Very similar to like a Rockbox or a Uni, I don't know how you pronounce it, but one of those pizza ovens. And the one I made will cook pie after pie after pie with no recovery rate at all. It worked awesome. However, one little issue with it, it weighs a ton. Basically, it's got a ton of thermal mass, which actually now I've realized I don't really need that thermal mass. And it works great if I just want to just make pizzas at home, but it's not very portable. So I want to make a new one this time. So I'm going to make one inspired by some of the pizza ovens that I see out there that you can purchase. So I'm going to kind of replicate something like that and see how I make out. So I bought a bunch of stainless steel. I'm just going to start and see what I come up with. I'm going to power it with propane because it's easy, it's quick, it's plenty hot. I can get it up to a super hot temperature, like well above, I don't know, 800, 900 Fahrenheit. All right, yeah, well, I'm just going to start building and see what I come up with. So join me for the journey. So this is the design I kind of came up with. Basically, it's a square rectangle with a liner, burners in the back with steel tube burners or stainless steel tube burners on the bottom to heat the floor, so I can adjust how crispy the bottom gets and how crispy the top gets, and I can adjust it so I can get a nice fine degree of control. So let's start by marking off some stainless steel. So this is 304 stainless steel. I got this one cut to 24 by 34, and I'm going to make a couple bends in it, so I'm going to mark those out right now. In order to make this project possible, I have a metal brake that I made in a previous video, so check that video out as well. So let's start bending some sheet metal. And I'm using some stainless steel 20 gauge. Well, bending stainless steel is not the easiest thing, but it works. All right, part one of the inside liner done. I got the main body of the oven almost finished. It's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with it. So what I've done is I've welded on a bottom frame with some angle. Originally I was going to try to avoid doing that, but unfortunately, yeah, working with stainless sheet metal is just a little bit more, I'll say, cumbersome than I expected. Well, I actually kind of knew, but anyways. I thought I might be able to work around it, but I wasn't able to. So I made a frame out of some angle, welded on some legs. I might make these detachable later, but for now I'm just welding them on. It's not that big anyway. Yeah, so now I'm going to just finish off the liner and putting the back onto the body. And then on to making the burner. This is the floor of the oven. This is a piece of 1/4-inch steel plate, mild steel. So that fits in like that. That'll be the floor. Liner will fit in just like this. Right like that. Alright, I'm going to talk a little bit about this burner that I've made. So this is a design that I've come up with that I've used in a bunch of different builds. So right now I'm just testing out the orifice hole size. I've drilled a hole 1/16 of an inch on this 1-foot pipe nipple. It's galvanized, so I cleaned off the galvanization because I'm going to do some welding and you don't want to be breathing in zinc. I'm going to have 2 burners like this. So I've yet to drill the other hole. I just want to do some testing to make sure that the size of the flame is good. So then this pipe is connected to a ball valve. I have it just clamped down for testing. Then it's hooked up to a hose, to a propane regulator, a high flow barbecue propane regulator, to a propane tank. That's kind of full power right there. Alright, that works pretty good. Let's weld it together. run the oven, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board and redesign this. What happens when I get this up to operating temperature, which doesn't take very long because my burners are, well, pretty darn powerful. The top of the oven caves in because it's just a piece of sheet metal and there's no supports to it. There's no creases in it to increase the strength, such as like the Uni ovens or any ovens out there that if you do some research on stainless steel pizza ovens, they, because they have a crease, and they don't have as much surface area as like the top of this, it's not as wide, there's less chance of it to warp or bow when it heats up. Now, once it cools down, it does come back to shape, but that's not ideal. I don't like that. So I'm going to redesign it. I'm going to make a frame out of stainless. I'm going to leave the liner the same, so not all the work I've done is going to go to waste. The burner's great. The burner's A1, super powerful, works great. I just got to redesign the body a little bit. Also, during the course of my research, while researching these types of ovens to see what other people have done, I noticed ones that you can buy also have like a dome shape to them, and it looks like they ran the sheet metal through a slip roller. I don't have a slip roller that's, big enough or strong enough to do that, so I'm just going to have to continue on with my idea of building a frame. But that could be an option too. This will be the flame deflector to keep the heat directly off of the liner, and this could be changed, but I suspect that'll last a really long time because it's 1/8 of an inch thick. As an aside, I later ended up downgrading to 1 burner because 2 burners, well, was just a little too powerful. So this is a tube burner that I'm going to mount on the bottom of the oven to heat the floor. This is a design that I came up with, and I have a whole other video on how to make this, so I'm not going to show you how to make it in this video, but I have a link in the description. This burner I had from a previous project, so that's why I'm not going to bother to show you how to make it in this video. So I've taped this to make a little dam on the opening, and I'm going to fill this with vinegar, let it sit overnight, and then I can remove all the mill scale. And then season this with some oil, just like you would a cast iron frying pan. Basically, I'm making a griddle. Because I had to strengthen the stainless steel to prevent warping, I tiled the outside of the oven frame with some large wall tiles to hide my crimes. I think it came out pretty awesome, to be honest. Alright, just gonna let this go for a while, and then we'll put the oven together and call it done. Maybe cook something in it, like a pizza. I've been using this oven for a few weeks now, and I had to make a slight modification to the burners. 2 burners was way too powerful because these jet burners operate best at medium to high power. At low power, they don't burn all the fuel, so you get a bit of a buildup of soot. To minimize this, the oven now operates on 1 jet burner plus the floor burners, and it gets up to cooking temperature in less than 5 minutes with no recovery period between pies. I'm super stoked at how well this oven came out, and everything I've cooked in it has come out delicious. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel for all kinds of different types of videos. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.